Bror Fredrik coming at you with another video. On today's video, I have 5 things that you might not know about Las Vegas. Even if you've been coming here for years, even if you've been here 100 times, you might not know the things that I'm about to tell you. And in some cases, you might actually be shocked. And we'll get into it right after this. And we're back. Here are the 5 things that you probably don't know about Las Vegas and a couple that might actually shock you. Stick around to the end. I guarantee the last one will shock you. And in no particular order, let's just start out with the fact that when you check into a Las Vegas hotel, in most cases, most properties run a check on the people who are going to be occupying the room. And in most cases, it is a NCIC check. Now, why are they doing these checks? Well, they want to see who's in the room. Are they wanted? Are they a fugitive? Are they on some type of list that you don't want to be on? All these things are possible, and they do run checks on every single person. Most properties, not all of them. Now, a lot of this information, bear in mind, I'm getting from behind the scenes. I could show you proof, but take my word for it, this is what definitely happened. So you check in, they run your driver's license through NCIC and other databases just to see if you're a person that they do not want on the property. If you happen to be a person that they don't want on their property, they will call. Now, did you ever hear the news reports? So-and-so teacher ran away with their student to Las Vegas, found in a Las Vegas hotel. Guess what? They ran them. So fugitives, people on the run, nefarious people, wanted people, missing persons, these people do get found on occasion in Las Vegas, and it's because most properties do indeed do a check on every occupant via their driver's license and other things that they could correlate with federal and state databases. There you go. So when you check into Las Vegas, expect to be run through a few databases, or databases if you prefer to say it that way. Number 2, and in no particular order, have you ever driven into a self-parking garage here on the Las Vegas Strip? What have you noticed? As you're pulling up in plain view, there's always a police car. There's always a metro car parked somewhere on the up ramp. This can be found in almost every single property. But if you also notice, they tend to be old. They're not the standard cruisers, the Ford Explorers that you see all over town. They're the old school cruisers, like the Crown Vics or whatever they happen to be. You'll see those all the time as you enter parking garages, and sometimes on the floors, depending on occupancy levels. You might see them on floor number 4 or floor number 5, whatever the case may be. Why are they parked there? Simple. It's a deterrent. Those are old police cars that the Metro Police Department parks on the properties to act as a deterrent. Now, they tend to be stripped down. If you go real close to them, you won't see the laptops in them, but they look, other than that, they look, and they are official. Don't go messing with them. They are still official operating police vehicles. So don't go messing with them, but they have been stripped down to a certain degree and left there. Some of them are 10, 15, 20 years old, and they act as a deterrent, and quite frankly, it probably works, because while you're pulling in there, you see the cop car, you're like, there's probably cops on the property, no big deal. But it is a deterrent, just like putting an ADT sticker protected by ADT on your front door. Same type of principle. The casinos employ the same type of deterrent principle with Metro, in cooperation with Metro. And sometimes there are police inside. They do have a presence, but they're not going to park on an off-ramp or an up-ramp outside. There you go. That's why you see old police cars at the foot of almost every single self-parking garage in Las Vegas. Here's another little-known fact you might know, but if you're perceptive and you've received change over the course of your time here in Vegas, whether from a cocktail waitress, whether from the cage, whether from a change person, you will notice, if you look closely, that they almost never, ever give you $50 bills. Why is that, Bror Fredrik? Because $50 bills, believe it or not, are considered voodoo. They're considered bad luck by superstitious gamblers. And trust me, just about every gambler is superstitious on some level. And $50 bills will trigger a superstitious gambler. So they try never, ever, ever to give them out. You'll just see that. Watch your hand pays. If it's $74, you won't see a 50 in there. The casino tries their very best not to distribute $50 bills. The other thing that you'll also notice when it comes to change, you will rarely ever get a $10 bill. Now, that's not because $10 bills are also voodoo. The problem with that is, well, I wouldn't call it a problem, but the reasoning behind that is that if they break the $10 bill, they will give you 2 5s, they will give you a 5 and 5 singles to make up the 10, whether in the hand pay, whether a cocktail waitress does it for you when you give her a 20 or 100, they will avoid giving you $10 bills because $5 bill or a handful of singles makes for easy tipping. You're more likely to tip your cocktail waitress, tip the bartender, tip whoever in this town with a 5 versus a 10. Now that might change because of all the inflation that's taken place, but it's been, you can talk to cocktail waitresses, cage people all over town. You can have this discussion, but the fact remains, at this stage of the game, people are extremely reluctant to tip with a $10 bill. It'd be easier for them to tip with a 5, a bunch of singles, or a 20 if they're, rolling like Diamond Jim. But you rarely see anyone give you the change in the form of 10s and in the form of course, $50 bills. Okay, now we're getting into these just might shock you territory, and I'm gonna just jump right in the deep end and tell you that a lot of the properties here in Las Vegas, especially on the Las Vegas Strip, do indeed have some type of morgue. Yikes, Bror Fredrik, a morgue or a holding facility for people who have passed away. Now, the shocking part besides that, which kind of makes sense, they should have a facility at some point. Here's the shocking part. Did you know that anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people a year pass away on the Las Vegas Strip? Do the math on that. Let's average it out at 1,800 divided by 365. That's how many people come to Las Vegas but never go home. Now, bear in mind, a lot of this is natural causes, but you do not hear about it. That is one of the most hidden truths about Las Vegas that they don't want you to know about. You don't want to know how many people have passed away, how many people have had strokes, how many people have had heart attacks, how many people who have had slip and falls. But the percentage of accidents is very, very small. The percentage of, how shall I say, people being deleted is very, very small. The majority is natural causes, anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people a year. Now, what the casinos attempt to do, to the best of their ability, is get the person, well, it's no longer the person, the, body, off the property ASAP. They call it, get found in the room because they missed a checkout. A loved one calls and says, oh my God, they're not waking up. Whatever the case may happen to be, the casinos want them off the property ASAP, because if they stay at that property and they're declared no longer with us while at the property, that room that they were found in has to be closed for up to 2 weeks as a quarantine period, especially if it was something nefarious. But just having the body there makes it a quarantine issue, and the casinos do not want that because they cannot get revenue from that room for 2 weeks. So they call the ambulance services and try to get the body off the property as soon as possible, and try their best to have, and it's in cooperation with the receiving hospital issuing the certificate of death there. That way the certificate of death does not say a hotel property, which will trigger a quarantine. But in the rare cases where they have to hold the body for a little while, like I said, most of these properties somewhere have a holding facility similar to a morgue. I don't know about the drawers and the refrigerators, but there is a holding room or area for people who have passed on here in Las Vegas. And like I said, the number is probably, make your head go like that, somewhere between, depending on year to year, sometimes it's more than 2,000, sometimes it's 1,000, but the long-term average is anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people expiring here on the Las Vegas Strip each and every year. All right, last but not least, I promised you a shocker, and I get blowback about this all the time. I did an entire video about it, and still people go, hey, Bror Fredrik, you don't know what you're talking about. But trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've showed it over and over and over and over. Some of you probably know what it is. Drop in the comments if you do know. I'll pause. All right, you're done. Okay, the concept of the RNG in a slot machine is about as dated as a Tyrannosaurus Rex. These machines are not operating on a simple chip like in the old days called an RNG, a random number generator. They're not monitored. Everyone thinks the gaming commission comes in once a week with a clipboard and says, give me that chip, we want to inspect it, and da-da-da. It doesn't work like that. That is an antiquated ideology concerning slot machines. RNGs are not what rules the day. What does rule the day are networked machines all tied in to a central server that can be controlled, and it can be modified according to what the property wants from that machine or from that set of machines. It's not a set or forget. They can turn this one down, turn this one up. They have full control over the input and output of most machines. Not all of them, but most machines. Yes, there are some RNGs. Yes, some of the Indian casinos do use them. Some of the California casinos, yes, off the strip, the RNG might still be having its little bit of a heyday, but for the most part, the slot machines today are run by central computing systems that control everything. The machine reports back to the central hub, and the central hub tells the machine what to do. But hey, Bror Fredrik, the gaming commission would have a fit with that. No, they would not. They're not in there every single day inspecting what is going on with each Buffalo machine at each property. They're looking at big picture reports. Are the payouts what they say? The overall payouts. They're not going to go to each machine and say, well, this one's 72, that's under by 3 points. You're claiming this one is 84, and it's really 83.2. It does not work like that. It's an overall report on how the machines are performing. Are they performing to a spec that you told us they are set at? Yes or no? And the reports tell them yes or no. And of course, they always say yes. gaming commission is not sitting there with a clipboard to make sure that your Buffalo or your Dragon Lynx is paying out at 88% on a 2-cent bet. It just does not work like that. I'm sorry. You can do the research. Yes, there's a couple of videos out there saying that it's all randomized with this RNG chip. I call bullshit, and so should you. It's centrally processed. How do you think a progressive works? How do you think they're all linked together? They're not tied in, all these machines, but I digress. You know I'm right. It is what it is, but the concept, not that it really matters, but it's just one that really it just sticks under my skin. But hey, Bror Fredrik, random number generators. Yeah, and Tube Tops, Daisy Dukes, and 1978 Trans Ams, all from the same era. So there you go. So those are the 5 things. I don't know why I decided to do 5. I could probably do 50. But for now, we'll stick with 5. 5 things that you probably didn't know about Las Vegas and probably shocked you in the process. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want more, drop something in the comment and I'll give you even more eye-opening facts about Las Vegas. And while I have your attention, I'm going to invite you to like, share, subscribe, and especially hit that bell button. And I want to thank everyone who clicks on all those links down there to support me. I appreciate it. And my channel is driven by viewer support from people like you, and I do indeed appreciate it. Support those who are supporting me. Thank you very much. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.